Hey everybody, Tall Family Films here. Today we're going to be replacing the rear shocks on a 2012 Acura MDX. The process is the same for several other cars, and you can see that in the description. Acura provides a lip specifically for jacking up the car. It is just inside each wheel, and you just align the saddle of the jack to meet with that lip, and makes the process pretty simple for most Acuras. Alright, to make sure the wheel's completely off the ground, I use an impact wrench to do everything in this, but you don't need to use an impact wrench if you don't have one. Everything that we're going to do here can be done with normal sockets and at most a breaker bar. So here's the shock right here with this white stripe on it. There are two bolts that hold it in. There's one at the top, and then there's one down on the bottom here. Both of these bolts are 17 millimeter. The nut on the opposite side is welded in, so you do not need to hold it with a wrench or anything on the back side. Okay, so now we literally just compress the shock with our hands. It's pretty easy to do. Some shocks are tougher than others, but for the Acura, these shocks are pretty easy, especially the old ones. Wiggle the boot out of the bottom and should just come right up. So let's go over and compare the old one with the new one. This is always a good idea when you're replacing something, is to make sure that the new part is going to fit exactly like the old part. So these two shocks look to be identical. It's hard to see the rubber boot in this particular angle on the new shock, but we'll compare them better in a minute, or you'll see a better shot of it in a minute. But check this out. I'm going to compress both the shocks down manually, and you'll get to see the difference between the old and the new part. Okay, so relatively quickly, the new part starts to recoil. In the old part, it looks like it's not moving at all. It's actually moving really, really slow, but that's providing for a very bad ride. All right, let's go put it in. Okay, here's the new shock. This boot at the bottom is made of rubber. It doesn't look like it because it's been painted white, but it does offer some flex, and you're going to need that flex because in order to align both the bottom and the top, the boot has to flex a little bit. And if you look at the old one, you'll see it's kind of permanently in a flexed position from being held there for so long. So we just slide it into the bottom, slide it into the top. You do a slight, compress the shock a little bit, then it will slide right in. But notice that the hole's not lining up here. The bottom is aligned, but the top's not. So how am I going to solve this problem? All right, there's an easy trick to do this. I'm going to go ahead and hand tighten the bolt at the top. What's happened is the axle of the car is actually sagging down too low, and I can't align both the top and the bottom at the same time. So I'll put the tire back on the car, put the lugs back in, and all I'm doing is letting some pressure off the jack so that the weight of the car compresses the shock for me and allows me to align the holes. Very easy trick. Put the bolt back in, tighten it up, and then that's pretty much all there is to doing the shocks at this point. We need to go back and tighten the top and put the tires back on. Okay, so if this video was helpful to you, please click the thumbs up button. YouTube runs all these algorithms, and it really helps me out if you do that. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel because we do all kinds of repairs that will probably come in handy for you. Thank you very much.